Traders, we are back again with another video. We're just going to be doing some insights in this video as I have got loads of comments from you guys, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to cover a few of those in this video today. And I've picked a totally different market that I don't even trade to go over this, which is the Euro USD. And the first topic that we're going to cover is what are zones. Now, in order to understand this, we first need to understand that there are two types of zones that get created. There are profit-taking zones, and then there are zones created out of the banks placing trades. Now, we're going to quickly dive into a PDF that I got for free. If you actually go to Forex Mentor Online, you can get this same PDF by just signing up to Tim's newsletter. And it's got an abundance of information in there that will definitely open your eyes up when it comes to looking for supply and demand zones. So let's just check out the first type of zone, which is profit taking, right? So profit taking zones will always form counter to the direction of the current trend. If the market was in a downtrend, the bank's profit taking will form demand zones near the swing lows. In uptrends, the profit taking will always form supply zones close to the swing highs, as we can see here. How do I know these supply zones have been created by profit taking? One, because the price had been moving up prior to these zones forming, and two, because the price continues to move up once the market has revisited the zones themselves. So ideally, guys, we don't want to be taking profit taking zones, because at the end of the day they're going in we may be able to catch a little bounce out of it, but we're definitely not going to be able to get the swings that we are consistently looking for. So let's move on. Now, supply and demand zones created by the banks placing trades, this is where we want to be. Now, we know these zones were created by the banks placing trades because the market kept on falling once they had been created. As we can see up here, these are, and I hope you can see this as well, not everything, if we zoom into this, not everything is necessarily an engulfing candle. Just these swing highs, are particular zones if you can identify them at either the high or the low of the curve. I just use engulfing candles because that's what I understand and that's what I consider better for me to identify these zones. So we know these are zones created by the banks placing trades because the market kept on falling once they had been created. The reason why the market will return to zones created by the banks placing trades is similar to the reason why the market comes back to zones created by them taking profits. Most of the time when the banks are getting trades placed, there will not be enough buy or sell orders coming into the market for them to get their entire trade placed. This means they must manipulate the price in order to drum up enough buy or sell orders to get their remaining trades placed. They do this by taking a little bit of profit off the sell trades, which they have already got placed. When they take profits, the price begins to move up, which causes retail traders to begin placing buy trades. When the market comes back into the supply zone, the banks use the buy orders that have been generated from the move higher to place the sell trades they were unable to place when the zone was created initially. The critical thing you need to understand about supply and demand zones that have been created by the banks placing trades is the point where the banks have placed the original trade, which created the supply and demand zone. It means it cannot be broken when the market returns to the zone. Now, the Euro USD, gives us that perfect picture, guys, in terms of where the banks got their orders filled up here, right? So, the banks are selling at the swing highs here. So let's just figure it. So let's just say, this is, they want to get what? 10, 20, 30, 40. They want to get 50,000 orders into the market, but they can't just get them all at once, right? So maybe they get some here, sell 10,000 there, sell 10,000 there, 10,000 there, and let's say 10,000 there. So, 40,000 orders they want to get. They can't get it all at once. So they have to do it bit by bit, right? So what happens is, let me just get another tool down here. Okay, So they sell, the market then begins to push down. They begin taking profits off, which means retail traders jump on board and think the market's going up. So then they start buying, fueling the sell orders again, which once it gets here, they begin to sell again. Okay, another 10,000 orders filled. Market drops. Again, retail traders come in, because you've got to remember, guys, that for banks and institutions, they need a lot of people on the other side that they know are going to lose in order for them to get their orders filled. They can only sell when there's enough buyers in the market, and they can only buy when there's enough sellers in the market that they know are going to lose, right? So as they start taking profits off again, retail traders think the market's going back up, so they begin to buy. And you've got to remember, when you close a buy trade, what do? You press sell. So it floods the market with sell orders, right? So then the market moves down again, and the retail traders come in, banks sell, get another 40,000 orders, get all their 40,000 orders filled, market drops, and then it drops out of the sky. This is the manipulation, guys, right? This is the manipulation, the deception that I talk about, every single time. Like, once you understand this deception is happening, it makes it a lot easier for you to identify your setups. Now, what are we going to be looking for when we're actually identifying and drawing zones, guys? Yeah, let me just clear this up again. So for me personally, right, number one, we know where we are. We are at the high of the curve right here. Yeah, because this market has been trending since December 2017, right? So we know we're at the high of the curve right now in this, what people consider consolidation, but what this was is the banks getting their stuff, just priming themselves to get these sell orders up so they can send the market into a reversal. So now we know we're kind of like at the high right here. So what do we look for? What do I look for personally when identifying setups? Number one, are we at the high or the low of the curve? Yes, we're at the high of the curve. Now we want to look for our structure. And there it is, guys. Let's get rid of this one. So there's our structure, and boom, the market taps it and then falls out perfectly. Now, where can we take profit here? Okay, where can we take profit here? We do know that, anything in the middle of the curve is really not that powerful at all. But so demand zones towards the end of a certain part of the curve, we can start paying attention to that. But we do know that there was a little dip, maybe a profit taken here before the market then shot back up. So we wouldn't really be looking at this area here because middle of the curve. We would not be looking at this here because this is a retest of this. So not fresh. So again, what I do is I usually have my take profits. Well, I would have had it on this trade just at the very low. Okay, just at the very low here. And as you can see, the market dipped past it and then has begun to turn. Right now, if we wanted to kind of like anticipate a valid setup around this time, now that the market has obviously dropped to this particular low, we can say, all right, cool. Well, what do we have here? Our engulfing structure has been created. This is the first engulfing structure to the upside that's been created since it's passed this low, which makes this a pretty valid setup. So let's get our rectangle, and immediately as the market pushes out, comes back 2 days later, has a nice little touch, and then the market pushes up to here. So we could have, this is a pretty big zone, guys, right? A pretty big zone. So we could go in and refine. So let's have a look. Oh, perfect. So we know that we could have just risked this on this trade. Okay, so instead of risking, let's see if this works this time. No, it's not working. For some reason it's not working. I'm not sure why. Well, it's a definitely much smaller risk than risking this whole entire area here. This small area here, perfect, because it's got our structure, right? And we simply take profit up to the next rally base drop, right? We got the rally base and we've got a drop here, and that would have been perfect. These are not valid because they've all been used up, right? This is the only one that kind of like hasn't been used up, and it's shot past this one previously, right? So we could have taken profit there on that particular trade, because you remember, you want to look for rally based drops when you are looking for demands, and you want to look for drop based rallies when you're looking for sorry, when you're looking for supply zones. You want to look for drop based rallies when you're looking for demand zones at either end of the curve. Now, when it comes to kind of like setting up your entry using risk management, and it really, see, everybody has their own kind of appetite for risk. For me, it's between 1 and 3%. For others, it's between 4, 5, 6, 7%, depending on their account size. It's just something you're going to have to kind of like gauge for yourself, and to make sure that you are comfortable losing that amount and it's not a detriment to your account. And obviously, if you're going in too big, then you're going to be sitting at the screen, you're going to be worrying, you're going to be watching bars as they happen. That's just never ever a good thing, right? Only unless if you're a day trader, then fair enough. But as we are swing traders, well, I'm a swing trader anyway, the last thing that I want to do is just sit and stare at the screen all day watching these things go up and down, because trust me, it is emotional. I've been there, done that. You don't want to do it, trust me. So your risk appetite, guys, is entirely up to you. I use between 1 and 3%, which is really comfortable for me with my account size. So I suggest you just use something where it's comfortable for you. Now, again, when we're setting up these, just to go over it again, this is like, easy peasy stuff, guys. We want to put our take profit, depending if, you have like pound yen where I have a 2.5 spread, I usually put my take profit my entry, my limit order, just 2.5 pips above my entry target, because sometimes it touches it perfectly and then spins, and I get left behind. And then I may just put my stop loss just maybe a pip or so under here, just to give it a little bit of breathing room, just in case it comes down really deep into the zone and then decides to pop back out. The last thing you want to do is get taken out because there's a 2.5 spread, or because there's a bit of a spread and it actually doesn't come down and touch your stop loss. It's just the spread takes you out. It's happened to me plenty of times, and trust me, it's really annoying. So I hope this short, quick video has helped you understand just things a little bit more clearly. Make sure you go and check out Forex Mentor online. The owner of that website is a guy called Tim. He's really cool. I've purchased all of his PDF books. They are absolutely invaluable. This is his site, guys. You can get this book for free, Finding Supply and Demand Zones That Work, where I just read a little bit out of that chapter from, by simply signing up to his newsletter. Invaluable book. Make sure you get it, and if you can purchase some of his other books, and I suggest you do as well. I think he's got about 5, 6 or 7 books, but they are absolutely invaluable. So make sure you check them out. Speak soon, guys.